Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Thomas Partey will leave Arsenal this summer. The midfielder was reportedly close to leaving Arsenal last summer, but the move never got finalized, with some interest from Italy and Saudi Arabia. Which club Partey will move to this summer is still very unclear, but it's easy to think Saudi Arabia is a very likely place for him to move to, or one of the Turkish giants, or maybe Juventus will be back on the radar. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel to never miss an upload, and let me know if you think Arsenal should keep or sell Thomas Partey this summer. So as I said in the intro, Thomas Partey is going to leave Arsenal this summer according to rumors. His move away from the club has looked likely for 12 months now, especially with how his season went with multiple injuries and inconsistent performance. And the fact Arsenal want to sign a new midfielder despite having extended Jorginho's contract also boosts that conclusion. First of all, I think the club always wanted to sell either Jorginho or Thomas Partey this summer, but wanted to decide who they wanted to keep based on this season that has just been completed. By the looks of it, Arsenal felt it was smarter to stick with Jorginho rather than keeping Partey at the club, and I can see why that is the case, as Jorginho is probably on lower wages, as well as he is more reliable in terms of staying fit, and I also feel like Jorginho is more of a leader in the dressing room than what Partey is. Although that is nothing negative towards Partey, I think it just comes more naturally to Jorginho. And if I were to guess, Jorginho is probably more open to take a backup role at Arsenal compared to Partey, with the Italian also working on his coaching badges at the club. I've got to say, I've been extremely unsure about who I wanted to keep at the club for next season between Jorginho and Partey, and I've been stuck between the pair for the whole season. And for the reasons I just mentioned, I think keeping Jorginho is better in that case, although a fit Thomas Partey is a better player for us than what Jorginho is. But that doesn't mean Jorginho isn't a brilliant footballer. He has shown multiple times exactly how good he can be this season. And I can also see absolutely why some Arsenal fans want to keep the Ghanaian at the club past this summer. Thomas Partey is of course a top class player when playing, and is in my opinion a very unique player. By that I mean very few can replicate what he does with the skills he has, and an informed Partey is in my opinion at least a top 5 midfielder in the Premier League when it comes to box and more defensive minded midfielders. Despite the title and the thumbnail of the video, I think it's absolutely multiple reasons to keep Thomas Partey at the club, but I do think when we extended with Jorginho, it was the end of Partey's Arsenal career, and it looked like that is the case as well. So as I've already said, Partey is one of the better midfielders in the Premier League and is an extremely unique profile of a player, which is very rare in today's game. And since he joined from the club from Atletico Madrid in the summer of 2021, he has been one of our more important players at the club, and has also been one of our best performances, especially in the time frame from December 2021 until May 2023. But then again, it all comes back to the injury problem here in North London. As an Arsenal fan, I probably wasn't the only one who was extremely excited before the season started to see a midfield trio of Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Martin Ødegaard. However, we unfortunately only got to see the trio start 7 games in all competitions as a midfield trio. And in those 7 games, Arsenal went on to win all 7 of them, having scored a total of 17 goals and conceding just 5 goals, while keeping an impressive 4 clean sheets. And what could have happened if the trio of Partey, Rice and Ødegaard played everything from 25 to 50 games together this season? From what I've seen when Thomas Partey has been here at Arsenal is that he isn't a player who looks 100% if he hasn't played in a while. He needs to play some games to get back to his best, and I'm once again referring to Jorginho. I always felt it was between him and Partey about who was going to stay, and Jorginho can come in and look brilliant despite not having played for a month, while Partey can look rusty and sluggish if he has been out injured or rested for a few games. And if you are going to use one of the two as more of a rotational player, it is important that that player is able to put in quality performances despite not having played much in the previous weeks. One thing that looked so promising before we signed Partey was his injury record, as he missed just 7 games through injury in his 6 or 7 seasons as a player in the Spanish league. It looked like Arsenal had secured a world-class midfielder who would be available no matter what. However, things did not go as hoped, as he missed around 10 games to injury in his first 4 months as an Arsenal player. This is unfortunately a story that continued the following season, with Partey picking up injuries consistently. He had a good run with just missing 5 league games last season to injuries, so the hope was that he finally had got through them. but then after just 3 league games this season he picked up an injury that saw him miss a month of action, and then Partey returned to feature just 15 minutes to then not feature in a matchday squad for 5 months again. And when he returned in March, he had been very carefully managed and barely featured until the last 5 games of the season, and my thoughts are that Arsenal wanted him 100% fit for the run-in that had Chelsea, Tottenham and Man United in a span of 4 games, which then again says a lot that we couldn't take any risk with him earlier due to the fear of him getting injured again. I am a believer that most of the injuries in football aren't based on luck. There is a reason why some players get injured more than others, and of course I'm not talking about compact injuries, I'm now talking about non-compact injuries, because contact injuries is just unfortunately most of the time, while non-compact injuries is normally not unluck or based on luck or unluck. According to Transfermarkt, Thomas Partey has missed over 70 games to injury in his 4 seasons at Arsenal, and that means he has been out injured for around 40% of the games in his Arsenal career, and that is a very bad look. As you may or may not know, Partey's current Arsenal contract runs out in 2025, and apart from some small rumors here and there, it's been no concrete rumors of his contract getting renewed. And the small rumors that has been going around was in early 2024, and that was if a contract was to be agreed, it would either be on Arsenal's term, which was a lower wage and that he had to retire from international football, or that it was to just keep his value, as he then would have more than 12 months left of his contract in this summer. Thomas Partey was for a long time Mikel Arteta's most expensive signing, which also naturally means he's one of the highest paid player at the club, or at least was until 2023. I do believe he earns something between 180 and 210k pounds a week, which is now probably makes him around top 5 highest paid Arsenal players in terms of weekly wage in the current squad. And if a player is around the top 5, you want him to play week in, week out. And with his contract running out in 2025 and his age being 31 in a few weeks, it is likely to be the last transfer window we can get a decent fee for the midfielder. This is also due to his recent injury record, which also plays a big part, and with a decent fee I think we can get around 15-20 million for him, as that was reportedly offered to us last season, which looking at it isn't a huge sum of cash, but with his wages being off the books it turns out to be a fair bit. So all in all, I'm open to selling Thomas Partey this summer, and I'm also open to keep him, but with Jorginho staying I just can't see Partey stay as well, especially with us signing a new midfielder by the looks of it. The reason I want to keep Partey is because he's a fantastic player, but at the same time he hasn't really looked like the same player as he was 1.5 years ago, so he may have declined heavily physically due to the injuries. So the smartest thing is probably to sell him this summer, as we still can get something for him, and then we don't need to worry about his injury record anymore. So let me know in the comments if you would keep or sell Thomas Partey this summer, and while you're down there, leave a like to the video, subscribe to my channel to never miss an upload, and I will see you guys later.